Now on CoastTV News.
Tables to couches, tariffs could hurt your next big furniture purchase.
Grotto's gotta go, plans for the Rehoboth Boardwalk demolition.
The kitchen at Milton's Cheer Center, just one area that desperately needs volunteers.
And surviving the cold weather, what one farm is using to save their peach trees.
And speaking of that cold weather, staying chilly for the rest of the night. However, that's an improvement from how cold we started this morning, but we're still under a frost advisory.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
Tariffs on furniture. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Saketis. Welcome to our News at 5. We begin tonight with continued coverage on the tariff effect here in Sussex County. Just this afternoon, President Trump ordered a 90-day pause on new tariffs, except, and this is important, for China. He also raised tariff rates on China to 125%, citing what he called Beijing's, quote, lack of respect. The move comes after China announced retaliatory tariffs on the United States. The president says he's lowered the reciprocal tariff rate on all other countries to 10%.
Still, businesses on the coast say they'll feel the impact one way or another. And today, the focus is on furniture. Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken is live in Lewis. And Emma, Furniture Gallery tells you they may feel the strain, but they're hopeful.
Maddie, Furniture Gallery tells me this chair is manufactured in Florida, but between the swivel and all the other parts that make up furniture, they don't necessarily know where all those parts are imported from, meaning tariffs could impact everything in the store, but they hope tariffs help people encourage them to buy furniture more locally.
A lot of my companies are domestic. However, even with domestic companies, they often import parts, or in the case of upholstery furniture, they may import fabric and things like that.
Furniture Gallery is a family-owned and operated business, so they say they don't have as much overhead as other businesses. Therefore, they try to absorb price hikes as much as they can. Live in Lewis, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Emma, thank you. And during an event at the White House this afternoon, President Trump commented on his decision to pause the tariffs except China, which, as Charlie mentioned, is up to 125%. Here's some of what he had to say.
A deal could be made with every one of them. A deal's going to be made with China. A deal's going to be made with every one of them. And there'll be fair deals. I just want fair.
The stock market reacted quickly to the news, causing a spike in gains on Wall Street in the aftermath. Trump says he's based his decision on the fact that his administration has heard from more than 75 countries that want to negotiate new trade deals with the United States.
So every country in the world who wants to come and negotiate, we are willing to hear you. We're going to go down to a 10% baseline tariff for them, and China will be raised to 125 due to their insistence on escalation. The countries can think about those levels as they come to us to bring down their tariffs, their non-tariff trade barriers. We're going to discuss currency manipulation, subsidy of labor and industry.
On Wall Street, investors are anxious about what a broad tariff and global trade war mean for the future.
The longer this lasts, the more of an economic drag it is, with uncertainty both by the consumer, investor, and certainly people that run companies. And the longer that lasts, the more real economic damage we're doing.
Now, when a company's stock goes down, they can eventually be challenged to make decisions about infrastructure, like hiring and the number of people they continue to employ. They may also hike prices to cover the costs, which can also squeeze consumers.
A little locally here now in Rehoboth Beach, we have covered the approved One Rehoboth Avenue Hotel, and now the first steps towards the construction of the hotel, that's about to start. Coast TV News reporter Brandon Ferguson is live in Rehoboth Beach. Brandon, demolition of the grottos is imminent.
Charlie, according to this paper, demolition could start now, but it is scheduled for April 21st for the demolition of the grottos and the Sirocco Motel behind it, all in preparation for the One Rehoboth Avenue Hotel. And we're going to show you the renderings for the One Rehoboth Avenue Hotel on your screen now. And one local Coast TV spoke with grew up on the coast and has seen the growth over the last 70 years.
It's just the way things go, and I guess it's progress. I don't have to like it. It's going to happen.
Crews will have until May 15th to fit as much work in as possible here, because for May 15th to September 15th, the city has a ban on demolitions. Live in Rehoboth Beach, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
It's been a tough start to the growing season. Drought conditions, lingering cold snaps, that's made it hard for some farms to keep crops alive. But one farm in Frankfort has a new tool that's helping their peach trees stay healthy. Bennett Orchards has been using wind machines to keep their peach trees thriving. These machines are basically used to make the area warmer for the peach trees so they can bloom properly. And although they can only make a 5-degree difference, Henry Bennett says that's life or death.
At 27 degrees, you may see 10% crop loss. At 24 degrees, you might see 90% crop loss. Thus, every degree is critical.
And just these two machines, you see one right there, cover all the peach trees on that 40-acre field.
And this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, how did you protect your plants?
Let's take a look at the results so far. I'm curious about this one. 52% did me. What did I did, which is did nothing.
Did nothing.
That was me. That was mine.
I thought that might be the winner. Brought Inside was number 2 at 39%. Not surprised by that either.
You know, we're going to see if this changes, though, at 6 o'clock.
It could fluctuate. Be honest about it if you go vote. If you haven't, you can do that at coasttv.com or use the Coast TV mobile app. We're taking a live look into Milford right now, and we need to check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams. Paul, I know it's not your fault. You told us that cold weather was coming, but I still feel some kind of way about it.
And you're not the only one, actually. And for those who have to walk their dogs out in the early morning, let me show you why it was so uncomfortable this morning. Listen, we started at 28 degrees in Georgetown. Wasn't quite a record low, but it was low enough. 28 for us actually for the low in Salisbury, 31. So we were below freezing just about everywhere. And that's just not the only area. In fact, to be quite honest, we actually had more than freezing temperatures actually across a good portion of the entire viewing area. Take a look at some of these numbers right here, which was kind of impressive when you think about it. I mean, we had the kind of cold that, but look at this. We're looking at 28 in Georgetown, 28 in Salisbury, 31 in Ocean City, Dover 31, 33 Ellendale, 33 for Harbison. So we were right there at the freezing mark for this. We're currently holding at 52. So we've recovered nicely, and temperatures are going to fall back into the 40s again tonight. And we are concerned about not freezing, but frost this time around, because we have a frost advisory active for us in near the Ocean City area, Newark, as well as Snow Hill, and over towards the Cambridge area. Charlie, coming up, we're going to talk about a little rain that's coming up in the forecast as well.
The Milton Cheer Center is just one of 7 locations that say they need volunteers. Cheer is a senior center that provides programs, meals, and resources to those 50 and older. The CEO of Cheer says they're looking for those who want to volunteer in the kitchen or deliver meals. She says she wants everybody to realize their programs are for necessity for a lot of people.
It's very important that, our elected officials realize how important our Meals on Wheels programs are. We not only need the funding to continue, but that we need increased funding because our costs are going up a lot. And we don't want to put anybody on a waiting list.
To become a volunteer, you can apply online or stop by your local Cheer Center for an application.
Thursday, Governor Matt Meyer is set to deliver his 2025 State of the State address. Officials say during that address, Meyer will outline his legislative priorities and present his vision for Delaware's future. The speech is happening at 2:30 at Legislative Hall there in Dover.
A piece of presidential and nautical history in Cambridge. Today, people who knew the sequoia in it.
And the weather will be a real chill mode as frost across the portions of Delmarva will dominate for Thursday morning.
Colorful display for a troubling cause, a pinwheel garden outside a local school to raise awareness. We'll explain after this.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
Students in Worcester County are bringing attention to a sensitive topic.
If you didn't know, April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and today, 8th grade students at Snow Hill Middle School participated in the Pinwheels for Prevention campaign by setting up this pinwheel garden outside of their school.
The garden there symbolizes the desire for all children to have a happy and healthy childhood.
I want them to know that we as a school support anybody who is going through child abuse, and we are here for them and make sure that they are physically and mentally okay.
Now, students there hope that colorful display illustrates a message of unity to everyone who sees it.
Bay forecast, we're looking forward to stay a bit on the chilly side for Thursday morning, and then we click over to our concerns of the rain and the impending showers going into your weekend. Your full forecast is coming up. This morning, we didn't break any record lows, but we got close enough, and we indeed have another frosty morning expected. In Cambridge, the waters are calm for right now, and today's low, we dipped down to 28 in Georgetown and in Salisbury, as well as Wallops Island. We had a low of 31 degrees here in Ocean City. Just so you'll know, the record was actually 25. We fell just 3 degrees from tying the record low for today. That's how chilly, well, let's drop chilly, cold it was this morning. Right now, we're at 44 degrees in Bethany Beach, Rehoboth Beach, but we're at 54, 10 degrees difference, Redden as well as Seaford. Now, when you think about it, this is a good example of just how the water can have an impact on temperatures, because the water retains or loses heat at a much slower rate than the land mass. So that's why you see that difference between, up to a 10-degree difference between those two places. Inland areas, you'll notice we leave it off right here along the shore, but inland areas are concerned about frost advisory in effect for places like Snow Hill, Girdle Tree, Pocomoke City, but also in Cambridge, Taylor's Island, Hudson, Bucktown, Andrews, and Brookview for those folks that view us there. Staying a bit breezy across the Chesapeake Bay as well, but high pressure and full control of our weather, keeping us at least clear for now. But we have this rain that's sliding across the Ohio Valley region, and that's going to slide in our direction. Mostly cloudy for the night, dropping down to 39, so frost is a real possibility. In fact, frost potential, and hopefully this is the last time I'll have to use this winter map, okay? Frost is possible, as is shy of likely, so perhaps we can shake this off. The bottom line is Thursday is going to be a cool situation, but then Friday we see the rain that's going to begin to kick in for us. Now, tomorrow, not the case. We'll have cloud cover building up, and we're going to build the moisture up for that chance of rain for tomorrow. But we're looking at temperatures in the 50s, 53, for example, Ocean City, 57 in Cambridge. Winds out of the southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour, and 54 in Berlin as well as Ocean City. Now, our chances of rain escalate significantly for Friday and Friday night. Then they drop off dramatically for the rest of the week. You see, you have a low pressure system that's going to park right off the coast and swing that rain on the backside of it Friday going to early Saturday. So when you see Thursday, we're looking clear, no problem. But that Friday early morning, we see one wave of rain, and then it's followed by a secondary wave of rain that's going to be even more impressive for us from Ellendale down towards Fenwick Island. Now, we're looking for the same general pattern for us from Ocean Pines all the way down towards Snow Hill. Once again, this is a Friday event, and then it leans into early Saturday. But as we go into Sunday, things will begin to kind of clear out for us even more so throughout our neck of the woods. And so when you take a look at Saturday, all this begins to pull more to the north. And then as we go into Sunday, we see it clear out. Quick look at the amount of rain. We're looking at possibly up to an inch to an inch and a quarter in most locations. Here's a look at your extended forecast. And just as a reminder, Tuesday's tax day.
Something to keep an eye on.
All right, thank you, Paul. A presidential yacht. This is really cool, guys. It's been sitting in Cambridge at the Richardson Maritime Museum since 2023. And today, crew members from 1969 climbed aboard. This is a rare look inside the Sequoia. Look at that. The boat was built in 1925, and presidents like Hoover, Roosevelt, Eisenhower, and Nixon all set sail in that Sequoia at some point. Cruises were around 2 to 3 hours, but it was a very cost-effective way for the president to have cabinet meetings and make pivotal decisions that altered the course of history. A steward that worked during Nixon's presidency shared a few stories of what that was like.
And if you went to Mount Vernon in between sunrise and sunset, Navy laws, Navy rules, regulations say that the ship, a Navy ship, must give honor to George Washington. And so that was one of the things that we would do. And quite often, then the dinner would be served after that. The sit-down dinner, we could sit 22 people in this room, and then in the after salon, you could put another table with 10 more.
The Richardson Maritime Museum says today's reunion was about honoring the sailors and crew that worked on the Sequoia. It says the owner has been drafting plans for restoration work.
What a neat piece of history. On your screen now is the railroad crossing where the Delmarva Central Railroad Company is performing maintenance work at Route 9. Now, the work was set to begin today, but according to the town, DelDOT has postponed lane and shoulder closures. That's due to the weather. Now the work is scheduled for tomorrow beginning at 9 a.m. The work is now expected to be completed by April 25th.
New today, there could be a new date for primary elections in Delaware. On Tuesday, a bill was approved in the State House that would eliminate holding separate elections in Delaware during presidential voting years. You might remember the primary was in September. Well, House Bill 65 passed by an overwhelming majority, applying to statewide, county, and municipal primaries. If this goes through, the new date would be the fourth Tuesday in April, because that would align with the date of the presidential primaries in Delaware. The bill now goes to the Senate for review, and if it's signed into law, it will take effect in 2027.
Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 7, it's live baseball when the Woodpeckers take on the Shorebirds. Then at 10:30 p.m., catch the final score. And for your DSM Plus lineup, right now there's boys and girls lacrosse and tennis. At 5:30 p.m., high school boys lacrosse, Indian River traveling to Sussex Academy.
We salute Zach Krause. Captain Zach Krause is a commendable representative of the U.S. Army, having recently completed a significant 9-month deployment in Poland. During his deployment, Captain Krause performed his duties with exceptional skill and dedication, exceeding expectations. Currently, he is enhancing his expertise with courses at the Signal Corps headquarters in Augusta, Georgia, preparing diligently for his future assignments.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Police in Salisbury continue to investigate after a house and car were shot at Tuesday night. The Wicomico County Sheriff's Office says that the shooting happened near the 3000 block of Zion Road around 9:30 p.m. People were home when the shots were fired, but good news, nobody was hurt.
In consumer news, Delta Airlines warning investors the current trade war causing turbulence for the airline. Delta said revenue will likely fall this quarter and that its expected growth has stalled. Despite the busy summer travel season, Delta says it may only gain 2% in revenue. The economic downturn will also impact travelers. Delta says it's now dropping plans to offer more seats to passengers.
To politics, the Department of Homeland Security says it will start screening the social media of immigrants for anti-Semitism before determining their status. This comes after the State Department ordered all U.S. embassies and consultants to screen social media activity of certain student visa applications to see if they indicate support for terrorist organizations.
USAID has told its entire foreign workforce they will be laid off by mid-August. Foreign service nationals make up more than 40% of USAID workers. They aren't U.S. citizens, but they take part in U.S. diplomatic missions for the agency. There's concern that these layoffs could put the workers at risk in places where it's considered dangerous to be affiliated with the United States government. The move could also violate local labor laws, triggering lawsuits. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside into Ocean City. One more check on our forecast after this.
Coming up, new on Coast TV News at 6, a new update from Murr on the dead whale that was stranded in the Indian Bay River.
Get this, new research suggests having a cat or dog could improve your well-being as much as being married or meeting up regularly with friends and family. Research also found having a pet could help life satisfaction as much as having more money. Well, you'll have less if you have a pet. Exactly. The study was published in the journal Social Indicators Research. But I love my pets.
You know what? And I love your pets as well for you, Maddie and Charlie. I'm pet free. It's okay. I have grandchildren. I don't need pets. All right. So listen, Ocean City, 44 degrees and totally clear at this point. We're dropped down to 41 with mostly clear skies. Now we have the frost advisory that is in effect for our area. Our umbrella winner is Anita Sipple. Congratulations. Call our weather line to catch up with your forecast. Sponsored by Broxette, Mendelis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast.
Thank you so much, Paul, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.